Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. So in my previous video, I gave an update on my life, what's going on with me, the channel, the changes that are coming to the channel, all of that. I'm not gonna go back into all the details about that here. You can go watch that video if you want to. In this video, we're gonna be talking about joining flight school and how all that works, specifically how I got into it, what my goals are with it. We'll go over what it actually means to get your private pilot's license, like what you can do with it and where to go from there. And then lastly, I'm gonna talk about money just a little bit and the cost of flight school. Hopefully this is gonna be some good information for you if you're interested in flight school but don't really know where to start or what to expect. So let's get into it. So to give you a little bit of a backstory, in August or September or so of 2023, I started seeing billboards going up in my town advertising a new flight school coming to the area. I've always been interested somewhat in aviation, but nothing like ever considering pursuing it as a hobby or a career or anything like that. Honestly, I kind of assumed that flying was for people who were either in the military or went to college for it or were super rich, and none of those apply to me. I never went to the military. I did go to college, but I went for math and physics, which has actually ended up helping me quite a bit with aviation and like the math side of it and stuff. And also, I'm not rich. So like I said, none of that applied to me. But I thought if it's something I could actually go do, why not look into it? So I did a lot of research just to find out what it actually meant to even go to flight school. I had tons of questions, of course, like what does it mean to get your pilot's license? What can I do with it once I have it? How much does it cost? How long is it gonna take? I ended up contacting that flight school with all the billboards and doing a virtual interview orientation type thing with them, and quickly realized three things. One, I really wanted to learn how to fly. They did a great job selling me on it because by the end of the call, I was very, very motivated to jump right into it. Two, they were a full-time flight school and there was no way I could commit to their schedule. Between ground lessons and scheduled flights and all that, they wanted me to be available 5 to 6 days a week, 10 hours a day. I just couldn't do that. There's no way. Three, no matter how I went about it, it was going to be extremely expensive. There's just no way around it. Flight school is expensive, y'all. It's so much money. So to keep a long story short, I found out that you can actually do part-time flight school. And you'll hear this referred to as Part 61 versus Part 141. To keep it simple, Part 141 is more of a full-time school that's more structured, kind of like college would be. Part 61 is part-time. Part 61 allows you to fly when your schedule permits. You can study at home at your own pace. Really, it's just a lot more flexible. Now, of course, that does mean it's gonna take you longer, or it can take you longer because you're not there all the time and it requires a lot of self-motivation. But for me, it was either part-time or no time, and no time was not something I was willing to do. So I found a part-time flight school literally right next door to the new school that was opening, and I gave them a call and told them, what I was looking to do. They had me come in for what's called a discovery flight. If you don't know what a discovery flight is, basically it's where you go fly for about an hour with an instructor just to kind of get the feeling for flying in a small single engine airplane. Most of the time they'll even let you control the plane some once you're up cruising around. And of course, if you've never done that, that's a lot of fun. This is a great way to see if you even like flying, because flight school is such a huge investment, both time-wise and especially financially. You 100% should do a discovery flight if you're interested at all. It would really suck to decide to want to go to flight school and like go through all the hassle of joining and then realize you have motion sickness or you're deathly afraid of heights or something like that. After that flight, it was time for me to make a decision. Did I actually want to pursue this as a career, or was the discovery flight just enough to scratch the itch? Obviously it wasn't, since I wouldn't be making this video if it was. I joined the school immediately and got started just a few days later with the hopes of one day being a career pilot. It's a long way to go, but that is the ultimate goal. Now flash forward a few months, I'm currently working on my private pilot's license. So let's talk about what that actually means. To put it simply, having a private pilot's license means you can legally fly a single engine airplane, either by yourself or with passengers. It's a lot like having a driver's license except for a plane. Now, there are, of course, a lot of caveats and like specific limitations about what a private pilot can and can't do, but in a nutshell, that is what it means. The big thing is that a private pilot license does not give the ability to be hired as a pilot, so you can't really make money as a private pilot. That's later down the road when you get your commercial certificate, if you choose to continue and get that. But private pilot is the first step if that's what you're wanting to do. A lot of pilots refer to the private pilot license as a license to learn, and that does make a lot of sense because that's when you can start just renting the plane and taking it out on your own for fun. So that time in between certificates can really be used as a time to just have fun with flying. I am almost to that point myself, and I absolutely cannot wait to do that. After that, you can work your way through the rest of the ratings and certificates with, of course, most people's goal being getting to that magic number of 1,500 flight hours, which is the minimum requirement to be an airline transport pilot. Now, probably the biggest hurdle that you have to figure out once you've decided on flight school is money. Like I said already a couple times in this video, flight school is very expensive, and unless you're lucky enough to have access to a plane for free, you're going to be paying to rent the plane by the hour and also paying the instructor by the hour to be in the plane with you. This adds up very quick. I'm not going to break it down completely in this video because, like I said, I plan on doing another video where I go into more detail about that later, but I'll give a ballpark estimate based on what I have personally spent. This, of course, is going to differ depending on the rates in your area, but no matter which way you swing it, it's going to be a lot of money. Just to give you an idea, for me, if I add up all the expenses so far, including aircraft rental, instructor fees, online ground school, test fees, equipment, which would include like my knee board, my iPad, my headset, my ADS-B receiver, all of that stuff, I'm out of pocket about $15,000 right now. I'm estimating once I have my private pilot's license, I will have paid about $20,000 just for that one. So like I said, expensive, but there are options. Now, a disclaimer, real quick, I'm not a financial advisor, so take what I'm about to say with a grain of salt, but if you can't pay out of pocket, there are loans, scholarships, and some people get no interest credit cards to pay for flight school, like 15, 18, 21 months, no interest, something like that. Again, I am not a financial advisor, so do not take advice from me on how to pay for it. I'm just giving an estimate of how much it could cost. The rest is up to you. You got to come up with the money. And I have to point out, that is just for the private license. That's all I'm talking about right now. From there, it's just more money if you want to continue. I'm only currently working on my private pilot license, so I can't give like an actual number for anything else. But my research has showed that all in all, when it's all said and done, you can expect to shell out about $100,000 for your airline transport pilot certificate. All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed that video. I hope it gave you just a little bit of insight into flight school and what to expect if you're planning on going. If you like the video, be sure to hit the thumbs up, leave a comment down below. Tell me, are you in flight school? Are you looking to go into flight school? Or you've already been through it? Did I get anything wrong? Let me know. And also subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any of my future videos. And I appreciate you watching. I'll see you in the next one. All right, bye.